The following program is a SUTV student production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Night. On Saturday, the football team traveled to Ithaca College. Unfortunately, their three-game winning streak came to an end with the final score 32-7. The Seagulls look to regain their confidence at home against Alfred University. The game is set to kick off at 12 p.m. on Saturday. As for men's soccer, the team traveled to York College Saturday afternoon and played a 0-0 draw. Both teams battled it out defensively. Yesterday, the team traveled to Wesley College for a 3-1 victory. Goals were scored by Benjamin Arietti, Brooks Zengraf, and Tanner East. The women's soccer was away at York College Saturday afternoon for the second game in a row. These ladies scored 2 goals in the first half, defeating the Spartans 2-1, thanks to juniors Logan O'Mara and freshman Ruthie Lucas. Logan O'Mara also earned the CAC Offensive Player of the Week. Yesterday, they lost 1-0 against Christopher Newport University. The women's volleyball team played against York College on Saturday afternoon with a 3-1 victory. It was a very special night as the Seagulls celebrated the careers of seniors Nikki Benetti, Michelle Meehan, and Julie Poston. Meehan led the team with 17 digs, as well as Rachel Pearson with 30 assists. Last night, these ladies defeated Wesley College 3-0. The #1 Salisbury University field hockey team picked up a thrilling 6-5 win in overtime against number 16 University of Mary Washington on Saturday afternoon. The Capital Athletic Conference announced its weekly field hockey awards Monday afternoon, and Salisbury University junior Samantha Johnson was honored as the league's Offensive Player of the Week. Johnson now has 27 assists in her career, which moves her into a tie for 5th in the program's history. Tuesday night, Johnson helped the Seagulls with a 5-1 victory, St. Martin College, improving their Capital Athletic Conference record to 6-0 for the year. Now over to you guys.
Hi, I'm Travis.
I'm Will.
I'm Buck.
And I'm Amir. So let's talk about some more SU sports.
All right, so let's start talking about the men's soccer team. Preview the conference tournament. They finished the regular season 12-1-5. They won the CAC regular season title. They only allowed 8 goals the entire season. So what do you guys think of their chances in the postseason, CAC, NCAA?
8 goals in the regular season, I feel like that's outstanding for the goalkeeper in general. But I feel like they could just keep on winning games and do well in the postseason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I felt like they've shown that they can compete. They've done a real good job. Yeah, I think they're number 10, I believe.
Yeah, they are number 10.
Number 10. So, I mean, and I think they're ready. And they also, I think they get did they get a first round?
Yeah, they got to buy all the way to the semifinal.
Yeah, see, so I think they're just ready to get to it, just not wasting any time.
Yeah, they've won 12 games. They've only lost 1. Every other of their 5 games has been a tie. So there's no ties in the playoffs.
Right.
So you would think with this record, they're definitely going to do something. They're probably going to go pretty far. So if Drew Stadley can keep up what he's been doing in goal, they should be looking to stay in the playoffs for a while.
Yeah. And speaking of Drew Stadley, Matt Forney sat down with Drew for a quick interview. So let's check that out.
I think it is just because it's so different. I've always been kind of different than everybody else, but coming to play soccer, it just, got to do things that everybody else couldn't. And, being able to use my hands and dive around, it was just, a little bit different than everybody else on the field. I mean, the time to react and the time to make a decision is just, it's so small. And it's practice and experience that help you determine what you're going to do, and in the game situation, that's all you're focused on is making sure you make the right decision. And yesterday it was pretty close to me, so just being able to get myself in the right position to grab that ball was pretty important. Yeah, it's pretty much like that. We do our best. We play every game our hardest, and the stats do come. And It's something that we like to take pride in, but we also know that if you don't keep working hard, you're not going to stay there. So that's a big thing for me, is just making sure we go out there every day and do what we have to do, but it's always good to be recognized as, one of the top defensive teams.
Now, they will play the winner of Christopher Newport and Mary Washington in the CAC semifinal. And during the regular season, they tied Christopher Newport 1-1. They were ranked 11th at the time, Christopher Newport was. And then they defeated Mary Washington 1-0. And their only loss of the season is to the number 2 seed in the conference, number 2 seed in the conference, Penn State Harrisburg. So, just some review of the season and what to look forward to in the conference tournament. Now, over to women's soccer. They finished 10-5-3 on the season. They are the number 2 seed in the CAC tournament. So, how do you think they? We mentioned before they started off pretty slow and then they picked it up. They won like 9 of their last 12 games or something like that. So, what do you guys think? What are you expecting from them in the conference and NCAA's?
9 of the last 12 games is pretty good, and I feel like if they jump back on like a small hot streak, that they could do well and finish strong.
Yeah, I know they got some adjustments that they want to keep, changing up. But when it comes to playoffs and tournaments, this is where you get to really look at your team as a whole the regular season. So I feel like just if they make some simple changes, maybe just attack more, maybe just because it's tournaments and championships is coming up, you just have a different type of feel about the game. Regular season over. They were seniors on the team, so this is like maybe their last moment they ever play soccer again. So I feel like they're going to be very, I feel like they have something to prove.
Mm-hmm. I think we've talked about it on the show before, that hot streaks are so important in sports. So if they can ride out this hot streak through the playoffs, then it's going to be great for them. They should be able to go as far as they want to go. But at the same time, you have to, relax, not get it too much in your head that this is the playoffs and it's a win or go home. But at the same time, you are playing win or go home. So you have to kind of like stay relaxed, just play your game. And as far as I'm concerned, they've been doing that these last, 9 out of 12 games. So we should be seeing them go, I think, decently far.
Yeah, now the men's soccer team has both conference tournament games home, and the women's has the semifinal and possibly the championship home. And especially here at Salisbury, home field advantage is key in soccer because
Crucial.
of how exciting these games are, and especially now it's postseason, it's going to be even more exciting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So that means people need to go. we say this every week, but just like really, okay, you may miss out on a regular season game, but now let's go to some tournament games and games that matter. Show them support. They didn't work for home field advantage for nothing. If you don't have any fans, home field advantage means nothing. It's an even playing field. Maybe even a little, on the downside, because they may have had fans drive down and embarrass us. So.
You got to show up.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now let's go over to field hockey. Field hockey, of course, is great. They finished 15-1, undefeated, 6-0 in the Capital Athletic Conference. They're the number 1 team in the country, number 1 team in the CAC, obviously. And they're going to play the winner of Christopher Newport and St. Mary's. So what do you expect out of the field hockey team in postseason play?
I think.
You can go.
I think that they will beat. What was the team?
They're playing either Christopher Newport or St. Mary's.
Okay, so Christopher Newport will win out of the 2, and they will beat them. So.
I feel like honestly with this team, it's just either they win it all or not. Simple as that. I feel like with that defense, it's just ridiculous. They work together so well, and the goalkeeper was playing excellent last game and just was nonstop just doing her job. So honestly, their biggest enemy is themselves. If they don't play to how they, the level that they play to, then that's their really only downfall.
Mm. And their only loss on the season was to Catholic. So I think they've definitely got the CAC secured.
Yeah.
We'll see how they do in the NCAA tournament. But number 1 team in the nation, that can't get to your head.
Right.
So you can just have to ride out, the hot streak, and hopefully they can go all the way and bring home the championship.
Exactly.
Yeah, and going back to their defense, I've seen every single one of their home games this year because I've been announcing them. Mm-hmm. Their defense is unstoppable. There's just... there's that one game against Catholic where they couldn't get their offense going because Catholic also had an extremely good defense. Mm-hmm. But I mean, they're only letting up like 1 or 2 goals a game, which is incredible.
I think there was only like 4 shots taken on the goalie last game, and while they're taking like 30 on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, the game last Wednesday, I believe, against Wesley, they outshot them 35-0.
Yeah, so it's and it's not just like the goalkeeper's good. It's like the whole
team in
defense,
general.
like literally, it's not like, oh yeah, they're left sided. No, we're deep everywhere. Just you really can't go anywhere on Salisbury without. It's not like, all right, watch out for such and such, but attack this. No, everybody's been tested and everybody's proved that you're just gonna have to beat us straight up. You just can't really skim around it.
Yeah, the opposing coaches circled the whole defense. The watch out for.
So let's just watch out for number 5, 6, like.
Yeah. All right, now final fall sport, football. They're still in the regular season. They still have 3 regular season games left. They unfortunately lost to Ithaca this weekend, 32-7.
Which is a conference game.
Which is a conference game. So now if they have any shot at winning the conference championship, they need to win their final 3 games and hope that, I wrote down here, Buffalo State, Brockport State, Ithaca, and St. John's Fisher all lose multiple games.
That's a long shot.
That is a long shot if I've
say
ever
the
heard.
least.
Hey man, you can't give up hope. You can't. That's all we got left. Cannot
Fishing
give
for
up
hope
hope.
somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, Salisbury is what would you before the show when we were discussing the football team? You said that 32 points.
32 points they gave up this weekend is the second lowest amount of points they've given up all season.
And usually when you hear second lowest amount of points you've given up, usually coaches are excited about numbers. Like, no, this is 32, and the other team, I can't remember, Ithaca College, they had 320 passing yards. These are Madden stats. Like,
How does that happen?
Unless you got Big Ben at quarterback. But 320 passing yards clearly, and then on the other side of the ball, it was like even. Like I want to say we had maybe like 95. They had 75. We had 64 passing yards. So clearly that shows like, okay, they attacked something, kept going to it, and whatever we did, we just didn't have a response for it, and that's hard on the team because at this point, I don't even think it's really the DB's fault because after a while, after they're just running all over you, everybody's confidence goes down, the demeanor changes. It's just like the defense may turn on each other, say, man, y'all need to step y'all game up. Offense may be. That's not good. Like that needs to change now. So I'm guessing this year, like last year, we're still fine tuning and developing. So next year they already know what their plan is.
Yeah. Now they play home against Brockport State this weekend, so that could kickstart their run to the conference tournament or the conference championship.
It could. All you need is one.
And then they have another home game next weekend. I do not remember who that against, and then a final regular season game away against Frostburg State. So they need to win. It's simple as that. So now let's kick it over to professional and national sports. I figured tonight we'll do something different. We'll have a little segment. I'm going to ask you guys, you ever seen on, pardon the interruption, on ESPN, where Tony Reale, or whoever is that guy now, I know that he stopped.
Whoever that guy is on TV.
Asks a question. It's like, Buck, I was trying to explain earlier, Buck gave the example, like, LeBron James in Cleveland is going to be blank, and then you fill in the blank, and then explain your one-word answer. So let's start with the NBA. My question for you guys is, Kobe Bryant being ranked 40th by ESPN.com is what? So we'll start with Buck.
40th ranking. That's terrible. He should be number 1. It's like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like he's going to do very well with the other players that he has with him on the team, like Anderson Varejao, Kevin Love, of course, Kyrie Irving. So.
Kobe Bryant, not LeBron James.
I was like, Kobe got traded. Breaking news. Kobe Bryant has been traded to
What
the
am I doing tonight? Okay. Over to you.
Well, I'm going to say it's a stretch. And when I say that, I mean, I feel like that's kind of disrespectful to Kobe Bryant because, I mean, I actually looked at the list and saw the players in front of it. It was like Paul Millsap and like Andre Iguodala, like Tyson. I'm like, how dare you disrespect the Black Mamba and put them before? I mean, I know he's not top 10 really anymore, but 40? Like, that's ridiculous. I mean, I feel like that's just a shot at Kobe, so hopefully he proves them wrong this year.
All right, Will?
Kobe being ranked 40th, I would say, is generous. Given his
Generous.
injury history, you can't put him much higher than that. With that bum
32?
Achilles, you don't know for a fact that he's going to be available for 100% of the season. So him being ranked 40th it's kind of generous to me. It's right around where he should be.
All right. Now, MLB question. This Major League Baseball season was what? Buck, redeem yourself?
I will redeem myself. It was fantastic, to say the least.
All right.
Because who would have ever thought the Royals would make a run like they did and unfortunately lose in the World Series? So.
All right. Amir?
I'm going to say sad. And I say not sad like it was a bad season, just like I feel like a lot of people were really rooting for the Royals. And then right when we get up, it's like, oh, a team who's been here in the last 5 years, they won it 3 times now in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Versus like the underdog, and you want the Cinderella story to win, but it's like, nah, forget it. So I'm like, oh man, like I really wanted the Royals to win. You know, they played excellent, especially in Game 6 when it was 10-0, something like that. Yeah. So, but yeah, I was kind of sad. But I mean, the Giants earned it. I mean, Bumgarner is a freaking beast. So yeah.
All right, Will?
This MLB season was magical.
Magical.
We had Derek Jeter's retirement. We had the Cinderella story of the Royals. We have the San Francisco Giants even-year dynasty. The Nationals got back up there. Clayton Kershaw was outstanding. So overall, this season was absolutely incredible. So I'm really looking forward to next year. Hopefully it can even become close to matching what happened this year. But we'll see how it goes.
And I'm going to say that this season was emotional because, Derek Jeter.
You got to start crying.
It's all right. We don't have issues.
Now to an NFL question. The media's obsession with elite quarterbacks is what, Buck?
Needs to stop. They need to focus on the other parts and aspects of the team because it is a team game. So
All right.
that's what I'm saying.
All right.
Could you repeat the question?
So the media's obsession with elite quarterbacks is what?
Predictable. Every day is just, let's just talk about who did, let's just do, like, we can't just look at, it's like we forget who the other players of the team. I wish, like, other players got some more shine. Like, the linemen get some more love. I know, like, we talk about DeMarco Murray's excellent rushing, but when we talk about this line who is pushing and creating these holes for him, just little things like that. The line who lets Peyton Manning's play action develop and gets all the play calls that he's calling so he can throw for X amount of touchdowns. So I feel like every day we just talking about, oh, is this quarterback this quarterback that, and with the Redskins situation and Geno Smith and Mike, it's just let's take a break from them real quick. Let's talk about some other people, get them the love. So yeah.
Well,
Media's obsession with elite quarterbacks is annoying, mostly in the sense that when they're debating who's elite, who's not. We already have this list of these top 10 QBs who are elite. You have to look at the bottom tier quarterbacks, who needs to improve, who's going to be that cog in the wheel to get it going. Looking at college QBs who can help improve teams. So we have to stop looking at Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, like debating who's where in the top 10 and look at the other teams, in my opinion.
all right.
Because that top 5 doesn't change. It's like
It's the
we
same
always know it's
tradition.
like Peyton, Brady, Aaron, Drew, and then that 5 spot switches who's ever going hot that year. So we'll put Phillip Rivers there right now.
All right.
Not Big Ben.
I mean, man, to be honest, Ben will be the best quarterback one week, and the next week I'll be like, why? So, I mean, it's a love-hate relationship with Ben.
Right.
That's my boy at the end of the day, though.
All right. Now it's an NHL question. I know that you guys aren't particularly knowledgeable in the NHL, but I picked an easy question. So,
That's great. Thank you.
Good.
fighting in hockey is what?
I love it.
All right.
It adds another aspect to the game. It's just great to watch. Some people get their teeth knocked out.
All right, Amir.
Fighting in hockey is bruh. Because I say bruh because at first when I'm watching it, I watch hockey sometimes when I'm bored, And when they're fighting, sometimes it lasts a little too long. And if a good fight probably lasts maybe about like a minute 30.
take.
They'll just be like grabbing for like, I'm like, all right, I get it. Like, you guys don't like each other. Can we get back to the game? So, I mean, even boxing rounds are like 3 minutes. So, if we just like got a couple punches, and it's more grabbing. It's not like punches to the face. So I guess that's why I'm like, come on, man, change it up. You know.
All right, Will?
Fighting in NHL is exciting. It gives another aspect to the game where, if a team's trailing, that fight can help spark a comeback. So it gets the team emotional. It gets the fans really into it. There are tons of fans who go to hockey games just wishing to see a fight. They don't care about the outcome of the game. They just want to see two players duke it out.
That's me.
Exactly.
That's what I get.
So it gives another aspect to the game for fans to watch, for the team to get behind. So it's exciting to watch. I'm all for it.
All right, and the final question, it's a college football question. The new college football playoff system is blank. Buck?
It's new. That's what it is. There we go. Just laying it out there. So, with it being a new system, we'll just see how it pans out and see how the teams do and everything. So.
All right. Amir?
I'm not gonna use a word. I'm gonna use a phrase. I'm gonna say work in progress because I like how it's like 4 teams. But sometimes, man, you might want to, like, I know it's experimental right now. So say if those 4 teams and it leaves us wanting more, maybe we'll expand, go to 8 the next year. I just really, or 6, maybe that was jumping too much. But I'm looking at college football and I haven't been paying attention as much as I should be. But it seems it's like we kind of know Mississippi State and FSU is up there, but teams are far behind. So. And teams, mentality changes when it comes to crunch time. So I hope as years go on, it just gradually gets like bigger and bigger. Not to the point where it's March Madness, but just like, maybe kind of NFL style.
It's no 64-team bracket.
Heck no. Oh, you know how long that would take? They wouldn't want to play football anymore. They would retire.
In college.
In college. They'd be like, I'm not going to the league.
All right, Will?
I think it's good for the sport. My only concern with it is the selection committee. When those first results came out, I wasn't a big fan of those the top 10 list, really.
What do you mean with Mississippi being number 1?
No, I love Mississippi State being number 1. Florida State number 2, I can agree with. Where my concern comes in is Ole Miss is still at number 4. They just lost to LSU, who's not in the top 10.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Notre Dame came down to one last play against the number 2 team, and they're sitting at number 10. So in my opinion, Notre Dame deserves to be a lot higher, Ole Miss a lot lower. So it's still a work in progress, like Amir said. But I think they're on the right track, and I would like to see it expand at some point. But for right now, a 14 playoff is just going to have to do.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see at the end of the season. There's going to be, Mississippi State maybe and Florida State maybe, who are the undefeated teams, and then 8, 9, 10 one-loss teams, like 7 one-loss teams who are like, all right, so what do we do? Like, what happens? So that's going to be interesting to see who they pick. So now, that's it for the game. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
I did. It was great.
So, the World Series ended last night. So let's talk about that. Buck, I know way back when the playoffs first started, seems like forever ago, you picked the Royals to go to the World Series, to win the World Series, and we all laughed at you. And they were 1 run away, or 2 runs away technically, from winning the World Series. So congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
I'd just like to apologize to you, Buck. I was sitting over there laughing at you hysterically.
No, it happens. It's all right.
Give them a fighting chance, but they turned out to turn it on.
I understand.
Yeah. I know it was but it was like, I'm gonna go with the. I'm like, bruh. Like,
Excuse me?
I mean, like, he was like, I just think you want to root for the underdog, and then look what they did. Just like made it so entertaining. Maybe not the outcome they wanted, but hey, Buck,
made a good
Buck
push.
was with him. I feel like that was Buck saying it, because if I said it, they wouldn't have made it past the first round. Nope.
Well, it's amazing how they started the playoffs with losing 7-3 to the A's in the bottom of the 8th inning of the wild card game, and then coming back to win that in 12, and then sweeping the Angels, the team with the best record in baseball, and then sweeping the Orioles, the team with the second best record in baseball. So that's, that was, and they ended up losing to a wild card team. So, but that's amazing for them, amazing accomplishment. It's great for the city of Kansas City. They got back into baseball, but it was a nice end to the season. So now let's talk about the NFL.
Why not?
You guys have stuff written down about the
I
NFL,
got
right?
yeah. Let me just say something.
Of course.
The Redskins organization, is one of the most interesting, has been interesting for, my natural born life. And I just want to say, how do you feel about Colt McCoy, playing? He did good Monday. He not an elite quarterback style, but he showed that I can run the offense and we can get a W.
Right.
But Robert is starting coming up. We've seen Robert come back, and it didn't really go that well because he got hurt again. How do you feel? Do you feel like we're kind of rushing? Well, not we. So that y'all are, rushing it, or?
Coming up, the Redskins are playing the Vikings and they're playing the Bucks. Those are two very winnable games, even if you want to put Kirk Cousins back in a quarterback. So the way I see it is you got to give Robert a little bit more time to rehab that ankle. Because we saw what happened last year when he came back a little too soon from his knee. So I think with those two winnable games, the Vikings and the Buccaneers, you got to go with Colt McCoy, at least for the Vikings. Maybe bring Robert back in for the Bucks, but I think we are rushing it a little bit, and this could come to define Jay Gruden's coaching career.
Yeah, I just got a question for everybody. Just, correct me if I'm wrong when I say this, but am I the only person who feels Robert Griffin is more about than the overall team?
He may be.
Because when I say, it seems like a lot of the interviews, he's like, oh, I'll be ready to get it. Like, it just seems like he's thinking about, let me just get my starting spot back. I want to get my starting spot back. I feel like that's what he's thinking a lot, not let me do what's best for the team right now so I can be completely healthy. I feel like he's rushes his process just so he can be back in the headlines at that time.
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's more like an I.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying he's
team.
It's about me, but I feel like he kind of has that kind of attitude toward us.
But I think he kind of has to have that attitude because of all the doubters he's had the past couple of years. Everybody who's been questioning him because of his injuries, he has to prove them wrong. We've seen what this team can do without him. We need to see what this team does with him. So he needs to get back into the spotlight. Well, not exactly the spotlight, but back to that caliber. So I think he's trying his best to get back into that performance where he was his rookie season. So hopefully he can get there. I'm pulling for him. I hope everybody is, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I would like to see Robert Griffin come back in, throw some touchdowns, win some games, and take him to the playoffs, just to see how he would do in the playoffs. So.
Oh, well, it's interesting. You say you see what the Redskins can do without him. What the Redskins did without him was play a home game against the Giants and lose 45-17, then play a road game against the Cowboys and win 20-17. That's a little.
In overtime.
Yeah. I'm so happy that they beat the Cowboys, by the way. I am so happy that they did that. So,
me too.
Thank you.
How about Tony Romo's injury, though? Did you see that hit on him? And then they put him back in.
He came back into the game. And
that was questionable decision.
And Jerry Jones said that we'll see how he does this week. He's probably going to play this week. So
yeah.
This is my thing.
Who are they going to put in?
This is my thing. Last year, we was talking about the draft. We was all talking. And I was like, Jerry Jones is an exciting person. What is something that he could do in the draft that could change everything? That was picking Johnny Manziel at, what was it, the 16th, 17th pick? 16th pick. You have a 34-year-old quarterback who might be like top 10 most hated quarterbacks in the NFL. Not because he's a bad guy either. He's also a top 10 quarterback who just postseason is probably one of the bottom of the totem pole. He has a bad back, and you don't get a quarterback for the future. Now, I felt like Johnny Manziel would have been smart. You could wait for him. You could let him develop. You could, I clearly was seeing that with the Browns, and the Browns are doing good. Johnny's been a little frustrated. But, I just feel like, how much are they going to put into Tony Romo? Like that, I just feel like that bad back is something, really serious and hurt him permanently in his, career.
Yeah, because a back injury is nothing to joke about.
Yeah.
Like, if you break your arm, you hurt your leg, that recovers. If you hurt your back, then you need to take that as serious as a head injury.
Exactly.
So it's it's something you got to look out for. I hate Tony Romo as much as the next guy, but you still gotta look out for his safety.
His back,
yeah. So I don't know what else do you want to talk about in the NFL.
Oh, and it's Brady versus Peyton this
Oh
week.
yeah, of course, Brady versus Peyton.
Oh yeah, let's not talk
the
about
two
that.
most elite quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, I think Brady's winning that.
Yeah, 14 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for
Yeah.
Peyton Manning, and then 14 and 0 for Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, Brady. The Patriots are back.
Yeah, you know, earlier in the season, people were like, "Oh, well, you know, I mean, the Patriots are. I mean, they're not going to be that great this year." But you know, anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. I'm Travis.
Will?
I'm Buck again. Wow.
And I'm Amir Carter.
Have a
Y'all have a
great
good night.